cartoon commentary is not intended for children. Tom, Keith, and Cory are usually wrong, and anything they say can and probably will offend you. Apologies in advance. Commence the podcast.
Cartoon commentary.
I mean, hell, that's borderline right there.
Now we're recording. So we caught that's borderline right there. That was the first thing in the recording, which is perfect.
About right.
Yep, that's.
What's up, internet? I don't know if Tom's here.
He's not.
I'll take that as no.
Fantastic.
Nice form. You can tell we're out of sync just because it's been a couple weeks. I feel like I've been withdrawing from doing podcasts, which is weird.
I feel like, honestly, lately I've been withdrawing from listening to podcasts. I was going to say watching, but...
All right, so here's the thing that I noticed. We all listen to Adventure Zone, my brother and me. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's weird because we haven't, at this point, and this is going to get kind of meta here, we haven't at this point actually started releasing any of these podcasts. But I'm noticing, like, my brother and me, which I think is a weekly podcast, correct me if I'm wrong,
yes,
seems to be, like, coming out so quick. Like, maybe time is just flying by for me.
I think, well, this is the problem, is that you, like me now, like, we listen to multiple podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. So you have, like, a small library of podcasts that you listen to, and if you have a busy week and you don't get through your catalog of podcasts, you're like, oh my god, there's 3 episodes of that I missed.
Exactly.
Like, exactly. That's definitely what I run into. And I used to. It's weird. When I first started listening to podcasts, I listened to Hello from the Magic Tavern. And, like, relentless, because I caught on to that, like, 3 years after it started, so it was just like, oh, I can binge this for just months. Yeah. And then, when I caught up, it was the Adventure Zone. No, it was the Adventure Zone. I found the Adventure Zone.
I was going to say, once you catch up to a podcast that you've been binging, it's torture.
Absolutely. And then I watched the Adventure Zone, watched.
You watched it?
I watched it.
You sat
my
there
ears.
looking at your phone, watching nothing happen.
Yes, the seconds counting down like a doomsday clock of episodes. It's very sad. It's very pessimistic. But regardless, I watched with my ears the Adventure Zone. And
Tom's back.
I've been listening.
So
this whole time from
and the Adventure Zone, like, I caught that, like, because I found out about that through Hello from the Magic Tavern, and that was a fantastic discovery. I watched it. I didn't catch it in the middle. I went back to the beginning and I binged that until it became weekly, and that was great. And then I decided, oh, the Adventure Zone is so great. Let me go back to my brother and me, and I went back to the original episodes from 2009. So, like, that took me time, because these guys, at this point, this is a couple years ago. This is, 2021 now, but this was, like, say 2-3 years ago. So they basically had 9 or 10 years of episodes weekly in My Brother and Me. And I listened to every single one of them from the beginning. But I had a round trip 2-hour commute to and from work 5 days a week. And probably at least 4 to 5 hours of my day while I was working was like independent projects. I only had like an hour or 2 of meetings a day. So while I was working, I could literally listen to a podcast while I was doing stuff on my computer. So I could literally listen to 8 hours of podcasts per day at that period of time. So I actually listened to like 10 years of My Brother and Me in like 6 months.
Wow.
Which is like disgusting. It was great. It was great. But like the fact that like if you watch 10 years of a TV show in that amount of time, I feel like that would be a different level of commitment, because you'd have to like watch, like with your eyes, rather just
Oh
just
wow!
like
Rather
listening.
than with your ears.
Yeah, rather just like listening with your ears while doing other things. Like I'm able to do other tasks and listen to them because I'm doing like whatever work. But now I'm to the point where I mean, I got to be totally honest. Probably 50 to 60% of the podcasts that I listen to are still McElroy based podcasts. It's like my brother and me, The Adventure Zone, Sawbones. Every once in a while, I listen to The Empty Bowl, which is a Justin McElroy, and I really regret that I think it's Dan. I'm probably wrong. He does it with another guy that's has like a serial blog. It's a meditative podcast about breakfast cereals. It's fantastic. They're just so stoked about breakfast cereals, but they have like this nice ocean wave like sound in the background, and they talk very calm the whole time. It tickles my giblies, man. I just don't know any other way to describe it.
So while I was listening to you with my eyes, I was imagining you swinging back and forth like Donkey Kong or maybe Tarzan from their nuts as you verbally filleted the entire McElroy network of podcasts.
I did.
Which I agree with. I haven't watched with my eyes or listened with my eyes. I don't even know how we said it in the first place. I haven't listened to as many of them. Yeah.
I have also listened to a whole bunch of schmanners. I've listened to Wonderful, and I've watched a couple episodes, or listened to it. I keep saying watched. What's wrong with me? I've listened to a couple episodes of Still Buffering.
I imagine.
It's just, it's one of those things where I feel like the three brothers, the McElroy brothers and their father, and then going into the McElroy brothers, just with my brother and me, like they've intertwined me into this like, I feel like I'm connected them. I feel like I'm connected to like their family. So then when I listen to the other podcasts that they do with other family members, like their spouses, and then I listen to their spouses' podcasts that they do with their siblings, they've created like this web network of podcasts where I'm like, I know you. I'm friends with you.
So
I'm not creepy. I swear I'm not creepy. Like,
so what you're saying is they should never meet you.
no, I'm not a creeper, but there's definitely people out there that they should not meet, because if I feel this way, if I
It'll make Keith jealous.
as a grown
get
man,
so mad.
no, as a grown man with a house, a wife, a child, and another child on the way, if I am
torture basement,
if I am this
brothers,
stoked, if I am this stoked about like other people and their family having podcasts and excited about whatever spin-off podcasts they come to fruition with, and me feeling like I'm like a part of their family just because I've listened to them so long, me being, I don't know, somewhat, I guess, mentally adjusted in the world of a pandemic that we live in now, there's definitely some crazy people out there that are like, I am your family. Like,
well, so, you know, I'm no McElroy, but I, as a YouTuber that, I don't know, for some reason has some people that watch him, like, it is weird when you meet people that watch your videos or consume your content just because they automatically know a whole lot more about you than you'll ever know about them generally.
oh yeah.
And you'll get like that level of, you'll feel that level of familiarity coming from them when you're just like, unfortunately, I am not 100% sure I know your name, dude, kind of thing going,
feel
you
like-
know?
I feel like the first, like, you know, couple dozen times that happens, like, it's weird. And I feel like eventually, as the creator, you probably grow accustomed to it. You're like, oh, yeah, you literally know more about me than me. So let me just, like, put on this face to be nice to you because I just want to not offend you as a listener.
Well,
Or
not
get
so much.
stabbed.
Not so much like that, but more like, you know, I definitely appreciate all the people that take time out of their day to consume my content, listen to hopefully this podcast, watch my videos, stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I'm at a disadvantage because it's just like you've heard my name a ton of times watching my videos, and you're going to introduce. I always have trouble with people's names
Yeah.
when I meet them for the first time. And there's actually a lot of people I talk to just like on a daily basis that I'm not 100% sure what their names are.
I was gonna say I have trouble with people's names. Usually not the first time; it's the second, third, and fourth time.
I know what you mean, Kevin.
God damn it, Thomas. Damn, oh, I meant to say a different name. Instead, it was your proper name.
Thank you.
What's up, Internet? Welcome to Cartoon Commentary, a podcast where three lords in their 30s talk about cartoons, old, new, and sometimes weird. I'm Cory, dad jokes activated Zamir.
I'm Tom, simply one hell of a podcaster O'Connell.
And I'm Keith. I got nothing. Barnofsky.
And today, despite all that rambling, we're here to talk about a little anime called Black Butler, which Tom suggested we watch. We are watching we watched episode 2, His Butler, Strongest.
Mm-hmm. And we watched with our eyes, which is
Yeah,
what's
oddly
most
enough.
impressive. Yeah. So
No,
this
actually,
is,
so I tried a little bit something different. I placed my butthole to the screen.
I see. You watched with your brown eye.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, I heard that if you actually put something up there, it's very
What? No.
like. I just want to say two words. I just want to say two words.
No.
2 words. Butt chugging.
Oh God, no.
I've heard you could absorb things through there. I don't know.
Keith is going to be so drunk next time we meet to do an episode.
You were like, Keith, what's wrong with you? 2 words. Butt chugging.
I
No.
only had one drink.
I mean, Cory, you know what? I will give it to you. That is
Please
probably
don't give it to me.
better than that's probably better than taint tanning.
Oh,
Did I
Nope.
ever
don't want to know what that is.
did I ever tell you guys about the time someone I knew who was a teacher walked in on 3 kids soaking tampons and vodka, getting ready to.
Yeah, because
'Cause
this
the-
is how I learned about butt chugging. It was when you
Oh,
told us
yeah.
that story.
The thing is,
That's
though,
right.
is that like I've never done that, but I'm willing to guess vodka burns.
You're
Vodka
willing what?
when you swallow vodka, it's got to burn.
Oh,
Imagine putting that up your
man.
butt, like,
oh.
and the whole
And
reason
then you
why
gotta
people-
chase it.
Yeah, then you got to put orange juice up there,
Oh, the citrusy.
or like some Coca-Cola, and then if somebody threw a Mentos in there, you're just in a whole realm of
We're all in a whole realm of trouble.
God. And somebody fucking stop me, because I'm tired of this shit I'm talking about.
So, hello, dear listeners. It's your old pal Tom here, real quick to ask for your assistance in helping us grow the podcast by leaving us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Also, if you enjoy the show, or at least Keith hasn't offended you yet, why not share it with your pals and family? I know, he threw me off my game. We're in the beginning of the podcast. We haven't even said more than the name.
To be honest, you said you didn't have a lot of material, so we're just soaking up time. Let's be honest. I like to be honest to our listeners.
Well, the funny thing is, last time we got together to record this episode, we had all these technical problems, but it was pretty long because we had more than enough details. But this time, instead of watching the episode right before and coming in with a fresh view, we're going off memory. So here we go.
Yeah,
let's
and
see.
the thing about that is, like, we tried to record that like a month ago, right? Over a month ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
Was it
Yeah.
that long ago? I feel like it was a while ago.
probably about a month. Yeah.
But like, for those of you that have been like listening to the podcast. It's kind of weird because I was thinking about it. There's like this alternate timeline for anybody who's like listening to these podcasts.
What kind of alternate timeline?
Oh, that was so weird. Everybody went so silent. I thought my internet cut out.
No.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
thought
wow.
you cut out.
No, like it was. I said that, and then like everything just went dead.
No, I was chewing peanuts, so I muted myself.
Oh,
were
I think you
chewing
both
what?
like.
Peanuts.
Oh, sorry.
You know the
You
things
need to
that will.
enunciate.
Oh, sorry.
Get the nuts out of your mouth.
Power word. I was chewing the power word "kill Cory,"
Yeah.
so I decided to mute
Basically.
myself because I didn't know if it would
Yeah,
translate through
I
sound.
think both of you like muted yourselves at the same time, and it just like made me feel like I was so alone in this universe. I was just like, I can't continue talking. Everybody just left.
It's funny. Cory only feels self-conscious when there's nobody there.
Yeah. No, but like I was saying, we like keep in the past we've talked about like, oh, I'm about to be a father. Keith's about to be a father again, and I was thinking about that, and it's just like, all right, so by the time we record the first episode that we're actually going to release, realistically, Keith's gonna have 2 kids. I have my one son, and
I got a bulldog.
Then yeah, and then they're gonna start like listening to like episode 2, and it's gonna be talking about like, hey, we're both about to be fathers again, you know, like kind of thing, where it's just like the timeline resets or something. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Loki.
I've
So,
only seen like the
like,
first couple
timeline-
episodes.
I've been thinking about a lot of timeline stuff, and it's just like it's weird that it like applies to this podcast, just to the way we like did all these test recordings that I feel like we're going to have to, you know, realistically release.
I feel
And
like
with both of us being fathers and you about to have another kid on the way, we're definitely going to need them just to fall back on, because we're not going to have the ability to drop an episode every week unless we do that, you know?
yeah, I feel like if we well, number one, I feel like our kids should not listen to a lot of these because of swearing, which is like 90% me probably, or at least I will say 70% me in the swearing realm. Number two, at some point we will get on a very regular. Well, actually, we were on a very regular schedule.
Oh, yeah.
We were
we were
pretty good.
doing. Yeah, that's why I said I felt like I was withdrawing, because I felt like it had been forever.
Yeah. I think that what we would do is if we saw an event coming up, like in the future, like another child, if we were actually publishing these and we had like another child on the way, or a wedding, or, you know, like a long, like
I feel like a wedding wouldn't affect this.
well, like a menagerie of vacations, or, you know, whatever, a myriad of vacations, whatever the correct word is, because my vocabulary sucks.
A meringue.
A meringue, a menage a trois of vacations, whatever the M word, whatever the M word of vacations is. If there were too many goddamn vacations, we would just record like 2 or 3 episodes. We would try to like reference that and be like, oh, 2 months from now, like we're gonna have too many vacations. Let's record 2 episodes a week until we get there, so that way we have like, you know, material to publish.
Yeah.
You know, and try to like plan ahead. But we'd have to like, you know, I'm not worried about it now, just because we're not publishing them yet. Listeners, guess what? That's the secret sauce. We haven't published this
What's oh
yet. That's it. That's hey, we recorded this and we haven't published a single episode yet. So if you're listening to this, or any of the ones before this, you're special, and I love you.
and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We do.
So, I mean, theoretically, you've made it this far. I'm assuming this isn't your first episode. We should probably talk about Black Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we just keep derailing it left and right, left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only like 50% of the podcast, or 40% of the point of the podcast is to not talk about the episode. The other 60% is to talk about the episode.
Is to talk about the podcast.
Yeah, is to talk about the thing
podcast
that we set
within
out
the
to
podcast.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a meta podcast where we talk about what we're doing right now.
I mean, we should just introduce the episode we're about to talk about and then just never talk about it.
I was wondering if that would happen one of these days.
If there's ever an episode, it'd probably be this one just because of the circumstances.
I was going to say if there was ever an episode based on the episode of what we've seen so far, it would be fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah.
That was just an awful fucking
We
cartoon.
gotta stop referencing it because we're never gonna release that
Yeah,
episode.
that's true. That's true.
By the
It's
way,
garbage.
You guys saw that picture of Jaleel White dressed in Steve Urkel with Snoop Dogg to promote his...
Yeah, for his new Urkel weed or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that, and that was the most amazing thing I saw all day.
I have not
It's crazy
seen
that it doesn't look like he's aged at all.
I know! I was like, holy crap, he's older than me, and he looks 25 years younger.
Wait,
Yeah.
Tom,
I wish I were black enough for that.
25 years younger than
too.
you is 10.
That's right. He looked like 10-year-old Steve Urkel.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
well,
this
what about that
picture.
did you not get, Keith?
Yeah, what the fuck, Keith?
I have not seen this picture. I haven't seen anything about this.
Well, go look it up.
God damn it.
Keith's
We've
not
got
on any
time.
social media. He doesn't have access to that shit.
I also don't know. I know Snoop Dogg and I know Jaleel White, but like,
Those are the only two people we're talking about, Keith.
Yeah, what the fuck?
but I haven't seen recent
You can't
pictures of
keep
either
falling
one
back
of them.
on the I don't know famous people when you literally just said you know the two famous people we're talking about.
But I haven't seen any recent pictures of them in the past like 5 years, man.
So you don't.
It's a
don't have any
goddamn pandemic.
idea.
Do you understand?
You have no idea what Steve Urkel or Snoop Dogg look like. Even if you haven't seen them in 5 years, you can't remember what they
Well,
look
yeah,
like.
I remember
would you be
what they looked like
surprised?
back then. You're saying that they haven't changed, but I cannot confirm that. I cannot do the proper due diligence unless I pick up the phone that is literally sitting right next to me and look it up, or if I use the second monitor on this computer that I'm using and decide to do it on there. You're asking me to do a lot of work right now, Tom.
I know.
It's very taxing. I'm already trying to record a podcast. I'm trying to create an audio empire. And you're
a little
asking
ahead of
me
yourself.
to look up
Oh.
the Snoop of Dog and the Urkel.
Yeah, you'll never succeed at this audio empire if you don't know who they look like.
That's true. They are great men, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're both just fantastic people.
Yeah, so
Jamie-
Black Butler.
Yeah. So I picked this episode, and you know the funny thing is, even though like we've been dragging this out, I have tried to start a few times, like quite a few times. And if you go back, you'll hear me like interrupt the start, and then I just kind of get quiet. Anyhow, yeah, I picked Black Butler because it was the second anime I ever watched. First one being Full Metal Alchemist, and that's what kind of got
my.
me hooked on anime. I think that was everyone's.
Noob. I'm calling you a noob.
Wait, it wasn't
All
like
right.
Dragon Ball Z?
Okay, well, there was a period where I watched Dragon Ball Z, but I had no clue what was going on because the episodes were like out of order. It was sometimes after school at a friend's house, and I had no idea it was a Japanese cartoon. I thought it was just like a really bizarre American cartoon.
Okay, so Full Metal Alchemist was the first anime that you watched that you were like, this is an anime, and I'm watching it from like beginning to end.
Yes,
kind of thing.
when
So it was
someone actually explained to me what anime was,
it was the first consensual anime that you watched.
right, yeah. Before it was non-consensual, I'd say.
What the fuck?
It's messed up.
What did Dragon Ball Z do to you?
I don't want to talk about
It
it.
just every once in a while it popped up. I watched it. It was weird. Like,
It was weird. It reminded me of my time in the Boy Scouts.
oh god, that's really
God,
weird
it
because
sounds like you're talking about your first boner or
that's
something.
no, that's really weird because I know for a fact that Tom was in the Boy Scouts. But no, I totally get that though. From the logical standpoint of like it was a cartoon. Like when you're a little kid, it's a cartoon. You don't understand the difference between an American cartoon or a Japanese cartoon. You're like,
Here.
it's cartoon.
To give you some frame of reference, I forgot if it played before or after, but the channel that played it would play Dragon Ball Z, and the second show I'd watch, which was either after or before, I forgot which, was the Dungeon and Dragons cartoon from like 30 years ago.
Oh god damn. So
And
That's
I
a weird
honest-
programming block.
it really was. So like I thought they were like part of the same kind of like animation style. It was really weird. Like
That's really weird. Yeah.
yeah, so I really
so you
didn't
mean, like-
understand or
by part of the same animation style, you meant like super low budget.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I honestly didn't know what anime was till college actually. I think it was like when I was freshman in college, turning on Adult Swim Toonami or whatever, you know, when Saturday nights and they play the anime. And I remember One Piece, believe it or not, back in like 2004, watching an episode of One Piece. It was like the first time I ever saw it, and it was just like, so this is anime. This is so weird. And then it clicked. Oh yeah, this is that Dragon Ball Z stuff. Oh,
So
but, yeah.
I still
Oh man,
honestly
this all makes so much more sense to me now.
I still don't understand the difference between, which I don't know if there is or if there's overlap or whatever, and I still don't understand the difference between anime, hentai, and manga. Like
Hold on, what?
the terms are just like I'm just
Hold
like
on.
I don't know what people are calling what because I know that some of them have porn.
All right, hold on. So, all right, I'm gonna explain this for you, Keith.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna have to
anime.
mute this.
this is important for our listeners too.
Tom's gonna be laughing. Okay, I guess. So, anime is just Japanese animation. That's your Dragon Ball, your Full Metal Alchemist.
Your One Piece.
That does not encompass the other things, right?
All right, so your hentai. It feels so weird to have to explain this. Is any of the
For
animation that is in some way sexual, in that you're gonna see a, well, I guess where you draw the line is probably penetration. Because I'm trying to think, there's a lot of like, because
'Cause
I
that's
wouldn't
the
consider an
confusing
anime
part.
like Berserk hentai. Like I guess hentai is just its own category of animation. Like
I
it
was just-
sets itself out to be hentai. Like the main purpose is, hey, we're about to do sexy time here with the animated characters,
Yeah.
and not just something where an adult situation happens
Right.
in Berserk or something like that.
yes.
That isn't the main point of it. Manga is basically Japanese comic books.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that makes more sense, but so anime and hentai have an overlap though because anime can have like porn and nudity, but hentai is like specifically like yeah, there's going to be a lot of porn and nudity.
So the difference I would say is, if you're like, as far as like live action stuff goes, like, are you going to watch a movie that has a sex scene in it? But that's not like the reason you're there. You're not there to beat off to this movie. It just happens to have a sex scene in it, as opposed to you log into Pornhub
Oh.
and you watch a porn. This is not Scooby-Doo XXX whatever.
So hentai is the porn version of anime.
Well, hentai is just a
Yeah,
porn,
kinda.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hentai is just animated porn kind of.
Like, it's not like you're gonna like watch a regular anime, and then all of a sudden sex happens, and then it just is a hentai.
Well, that's the thing is, I didn't know if hentai was more just like, oh, the first like 2 or 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, this is a good show. But
I don't think we could put this on YouTube now that I've said hentai like 700 times. Now I'm thinking about it.
But like the thing is, I didn't know if that was because like I didn't know if that was like Game of Thrones in the first couple seasons, where it's like, oh, this is a good show, but there's also a lot of nudity in basically every episode.
Incest.
It was like
If you,
I didn't know if hentai was just the HBO of anime. Like,
well, no. So like you wouldn't consider Game of Thrones porn, right?
I mean, it's
I would not.
really-
I would
no,
not
it's-
consider.
No, because you don't. There's no penetration. Well, there's no visible penetration at least, and
Well, it's not like you turn on. All right, so if you're a well-adjusted adult, you don't turn on Game of Thrones to beat your dick.
that's true. That's true. I mean, maybe some 13-year-olds out there are just like, oh shit.
Oh
my
yeah,
parents-
sure. It like, oh, I don't know how it is growing up in this day and age with access to the internet, but back in the day, you beat your dick to anything you could.
Well, yeah, you had like a lingerie magazine. You're just
Definitely
like,
can't put this
shit,
on my YouTube
that's-
channel anymore.
Goddamn. It's well, that's the problem. Time changes. You know, back in the day, you had a lingerie magazine, and you were just like, "This is the best I got." And it's honestly, it's not. No, not like nowadays. You, if you were starving to death, you'd be like, "This is the best I got." But back then, you were like,
was-
"Oh my god,
kids.
this is gold." It's
Any
all-
kids listening to this that shouldn't be listening to this, you don't know how hard it was back in the day.
Oh god.
I remember pausing. God, what was that movie? Predator 2? There was like a millisecond of nudity in Predator 2. I remember on a VHS tape, 4:3, 240p, pausing for like 1 millisecond of nudity.
Nope.
And then you missed it, you gotta rewind, and then you try and pause it, and you're just like, God damn it, now there's tracking.
Hackers, the movie Hackers, Angelina Jolie's tits for like a full second, so give you better pause time.
I've never seen this movie.
And that was, it was like from the 80s. Well, it was about computers, Cory. So
Yeah.
What about Titanic?
yeah, Titanic was
Yep.
my
Kate-
first
Kate
big
Winslet?
screen. That was my first big screen titty. I
So-
saw that in the movie theaters, and what was weird about it was that when my mom was there, and my mom tried to cover my eyes.
So
And-
exact
Yeah.
same story. One thing I remember that being was like probably the first time I'd like seen actual titties. And I remember thinking, are they all shaped like that? That's kind of weird. Like Kate Winslet is not like who you want your first boobs to be, I don't think.
I mean-
no offense to Kate Winslet,
No, she's a wonderful lady.
No, I mean,
but that's such a weird expectation for boobs.
at the same time, though, like in the realm, like in the spectrum, they're not on like any weird side of the spectrum.
Oh no, not at all. We're not saying she has weird tits. Not at all. No, no.
I just feel like,
I feel like they set the bar a little bit too high.
well, oh yeah, no. But she's a fucking movie star. Of course, they set it too high. Like, I thought you were going the other route where you're just like, they're weird, and I'm like, no, like they're. Let's not get too far into it, but.
Kids, go watch Titanic.
Well,
Yep.
this is a whole nother realm of talking where the people that show their boobs on screen, for like the 98% of the boobs shown on screen are just like the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. The cream of the crop.
And there is no doubt about it, yeah, you mean Gene Okerlund. You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
You have to realize that, like, real life,
Oh my god.
Wonderful words, Keith. I love what you chose for your.
I'm loving what you're going to make my editing be.
it's gonna be
Gonna
like,
get some macho man in here.
he's just gonna get some like,
Cream of the crop.
I am the cream, yeah. The cream cream of the crop.
I thought you were gonna like auto tune it and put a little song to it. Like, cream, cream, cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
Thought you were going to
But-
say snap into a Slim Jim.
God damn,
Oh yeah.
just
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
slap into a cream of the crop.
Oh.
But that's the problem though, is that like it's like the whole Instagram conundrum is that like there's all these Instagram influencers that have highly edited photos that give people like a false sense of reality of what they're supposed to even
Yeah.
freaking look like. And it's like some of these people literally are unrecognizable in real life versus their photos. Like literally, it's not like, oh, I didn't recognize you because it's like, no, you are fat in real life and you are like pencil thin skinny in your photos because you're good at recognizing where you're supposed to pose and you're really great at Photoshop and you have like a team of people to do it. And it's garbage. It's messed up. Like I don't know. Like it's where life is at.
There goes our Instagram followers.
Well, no.
I don't think that actually works there.
I don't
No, I mean our Instagram listeners, our listeners who are Instagram people who like to make themselves fake
Oh,
on
influencers?
Instagram.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, well, guess-
All of the
I-
influencers that are listening to us, yeah.
For all of the people on Instagram who Photoshop their photos to make themselves feel better about themselves, I will just wholeheartedly say from the bottom of my heart, you are trash.
I think that's going a little bit too far. I would
People
say
too.
you got to learn to love the skin you're in.
Okay, Corey's a nicer person.
As a very fat person, I don't love the skin I'm in, but you got to at least try. And a lot of the people that are probably doing what you're saying they're doing, they'd probably see success if they put the same amount of effort in without doing all the Photoshop, in my opinion. But
I mean, I would say as a pretty fat person,
there's an audience for everything, you know?
Well, yeah, and I would say as a pretty fat person, like I have no want to put the effort into just freaking what?
Who said you were pretty?
That's true.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
God damn it, Tom. But he's right. I just have a beard. My beard makes me pretty. Covers up my bad spots. So,
True. It makes him look like Al Borland.
and also,
So-
actually, all the hair in my body covers up my bad spots, which is why I'm covered head to toe in hair. So, but to be honest, when it comes down to it, though, it's like I don't know. I just don't get the. Well, no, I understand why people do it. I understand why people that are influencers, right, that get a little like crazy amount of followers, and they do like a whole bunch of photoshopping and whatever to continue to get followers and whatever because that makes them money. But to me, I'm like, the only thing that I post on Instagram, which is like once in a while, I don't even know if I posted in like a month or two, but I if I post ever, it's just like, I don't know, I made some fucking tacos and they look pretty. Look at these pretty tacos. Look at this loaf of bread.
Did you Photoshop those tacos?
No, I don't Photoshop
All right,
it. And
all
actually, I don't use any filters either. I do zero filters. I usually,
tacos were all natural.
if anything, what I'll do is if the lighting is bad, I will move it from my kitchen to my dining room table because there's a sliding glass door that lets like more light in, like more natural light. I don't do any freaking filters because I'm just like, I'm so against like the bullshit of like social media just like doctoring stuff to make it look better. I'm like, I made these fucking tacos. You agree with me or you don't. They look good. I think they look good. They tasted fucking phenomenal. Put them up your butt.
Along with some vodka.
Yeah, you soak them in vodka and then put them up your
Oh,
butt.
God.
I mean,
I don't think that works like that.
I usually put hot sauce on those things. That's not gonna
Before you
like-
shove them up your butt?
like pickled onions.
Now,
That's a brave soul.
I'm no scientist, but I don't think you could eat through your butt.
I feel like Jeff Goldblum needs to weigh in here. Be like, You were so preoccupied if you could, you didn't think if you should. Kind of, that's not the direct quote, but it's close enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, you're picking Jeff Goldblum over an actual scientist. I could answer these questions.
Okay. Should we shove tacos
Tom.
soaked in vodka up our butts, Tom?
Tom, can you eat through your butt?
Well, as a scientist, I could propose an experiment to find out.
God damn it, he's got no fucking answers.
No, 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 no. Scientists find answers, Keith. So bring the vodka over, make some tacos.
I will.
And lube up.
No, Tom,
Yeah.
you gotta realize if I'm doing the tacos and vodka, you come here. I don't go there. You gotta come over here. You gotta come to the source. This is ground zero of taco vodka Armageddon.
That's what your bathroom's going to be called, Keith.
I got 3 of them. There's 3 of us. There's 3 bathrooms.
Oh, God.
We are good.
This is for science, everyone. You're welcome.
Oh God, our podcast has taken a very swift turn, and quite honestly, I need to take a very swift pee.
All right, while Keith takes a piss, I'm just trying to figure out how we got to where the fuck we are.
I don't know. I was trying
I'm like
to
trying to
explain
think of the
anime.
roadmap. I was trying to explain anime, and then Keith starts
Keith
talking
asked
about tacos up the
hentai.
butt. Yeah.
It was the
No, but,
hentai
like-
thing that derailed us.
Yeah. So the thing I was thinking about with, like, you saying that Full Metal Alchemist was like your first real anime, where you understood it was anime, it's just like, it makes me feel like such an old man in that sense.
I know.
Because I
doesn't it?
remember, like, I don't remember specifically when I had that flip switch in my head where it was just like, oh, this is Japanese animation, this is anime. I remember always noticing the distinct difference in art style because I used to play a whole bunch of RPGs. You would see the box art for Chrono Trigger, and you were just like, yeah, that's very much like Dragon Ball Z, because Akira Toriyama designed both of the, characters and stuff like that. And I just remember, I think I went to a Caldors and convinced my mom to buy me Dragon Ball Curse of the Blood Rubies on VHS because it looked cool. Which is also, once we start actually doing like longer episodes where we theoretically actually talk about the anime, unlike now where we stall forever and never
Yeah.
actually get around to Black Butler. I would really like to do that episode because that's like literally my first anime, and I used to watch it a lot. Like to the point where I would remember each individual scene, and I just remember thinking like, wow, this is so much different than a lot of the other stuff I've watched. And this was the age of Blockbuster Video, so like you'd either rent a video game or you rent a VHS. And I would often try and, rent anime because I felt like I would get a lot more out of it than, whatever other kids movie that I could watch back then. And you just end up going down like this weird rabbit hole because they would have like a VHS which would contain like 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes of a certain anime, but then you never got any conclusion to it because it's not like they had the whole series.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember I'd rent, I think I rented the first VHS tape of another anime that I hope we watch soon, Devil Hunter Yoko, which is this weird, like, anime that is, like, rated for teens, but because it's anime and sometimes, hey, you're gonna see some boobs, there's, like, a magical schoolgirl type transformation when she becomes the devil hunter or whatever, where her clothes rip off and you see some boobs. And when you're like 11, 10, 12, whatever age I would have been, I was just like, that like set me immediately on the quest for, I need to see more anime. And like I just remember there were like so many random anime you watched, and the thing is, back then you didn't have the internet to like try and do any sort of research.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just rolled the dice. So there would be
Yeah.
like times when I would rent an anime and it would be like, oh, this is really actually kind of boring. Like uh, some series, I'm just gonna talk shit about it, I guess. Pat Labor. It's basically a mech series that is like super slow paced and not anything like any of the other mech series that are out there. I've never given it a second chance because I just remember being so bored with it, and lack of, boobs in the series was just like, oh, that one's a pass. But
Mm.
then you like stumble on hidden gems, like not hidden gems, but it felt like it back then.
Yeah.
Like Ranma One Half was really good. I don't think you saw any nudity in there, but it was like just a good show. And I remember watching Tenchi Muyo before anybody else in the States that I knew of watching it when it was super popular on Toonami. Like I had rented the VHS tapes of it
Mm.
and stuff like that. So it's just like when it comes to anime in that sense, I feel kind of like an OG. And even when you mention uh, your first one being Full Metal Alchemist, like that was like after I had taken my first break kind of
Yeah.
from watching anime.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm looking back and it's just like Jesus Christ, that's like saying your first console was a PS3 to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a late bloomer with the anime, and then once I started watching it, I got hooked, and I just, from actually, I should say, I started watching it when I was an undergrad. Then when I got to grad school, I didn't really like the first couple years. I didn't watch too much anime because I just had a lot of classwork and a lot of lab reports to grade when I was teaching. So it was just a lot of work. But then when I changed and became a research assistant and no longer had to teach and was working at the lab and stuff, I had a little more time, after work, and I started watching anime again. And then from that point on, so that was like from the age of 24 on, I just started kept watching
Wow.
anime without a break, really. So I mean, it's not like I watch it constantly all the time, but I do watch it every week, a little bit of it,
Mm.
depending on
See, the thing
what.
is, I like when I was into it, I was pretty deep.
Mm.
Like I was on the torrent sites
Mm-hmm.
downloading stuff as it came out in Japan. The second they had English subtitles on it from fan subs, I was watching it.
Mm.
Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, I remember I was on that daily. Um,
Wow.
every single time they came out with a new episode. Lucky Star. Like that was like my heyday of anime. And the
Mm.
thing is, it's weird because like I think that's part of why I'm like super not into it when it's dubbed,
Yeah.
which actually kind of pertains to Black Butler because I watched it both subbed and dubbed. And while it is, I guess, more accurate from my perspective to hear like the actual accents that they have in the English dub,
Mm.
because like they are characters that are in England. Of course, they would speak with an English accent for the most part.
Yeah.
And when they're speaking Japanese, I don't know enough, even with all the anime I've watched, I don't know enough about the Japanese language to pick up on an accent like that, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think because I started watching anime dubbed, that's just what I was used to because that's what was I was presented with. I
Hmm.
I had not seen any like subbed anime till years after I started watching anime, like dubbed anime, because when I was up at school, they had a network where everyone shared stuff, and was able to sample anime, but it was all dubbed there. Like the people that
Yeah.
had stuff, it was dubbed. So I had never dealt with actual subtitled anime till like I think it was after I broke my back, and I was laid up in bed for months and months between surgeries and zonked out on pain meds, and I just wanted something to watch. And I remember checking out some anime, and I remember reading on some forums, and then was it the Anime News Network? I was on there
Yep.
too, and they were talking about One Punch Man.
Hmm.
And I remember reading the premise and thinking, wow, that sounds pretty interesting. I think I really want to check that out. And that was like the first time because I right around then there was a few subbed I would try, or I'd watch it would be a simulcast thing or it's the dubcast where they have the dub version come out with the subbed, or the subbed would come out a week before. So sometimes I get impatient and I would look at the subbed, but I just, it was so weird because I never read subtitles and I wasn't used to it. That I just couldn't stand it. But however, One Punch Man, when I first watched it, I watched it all subtitled, and I actually really enjoyed it. And it was the first time I was able to really get into being okay with reading the subs and seeing what was going on. And I do have to say, after I've seen the dub, I've seen the sub. I think the sub, the jokes. I always think of a joke in the second episode where he makes a joke about mosquitoes. The
Hmm.
the subbed version, the joke is it's just sharper. It's on point.
Yeah.
It's perfectly crafted and worded. But then with English, because they have to take into consideration the mouth movements, sometimes they change the wording just so the mouth movements match, and the joke doesn't. I mean, the joke was still funny, but it didn't quite land. Like the joke had to do with them fighting a giant mosquito monster woman, and in the end, One Punch Man just takes her out in one punch, and you know how the action heroes have cheesy one-liners. Usually, he has this one-liner. He just turns and says in the sub, he just turns and goes, "Mosquitoes suck." And lost it. I just started laughing my ass off. I'm like, I get it. Mosquitoes suck because they suck blood and they suck in
Hmm.
general. And I thought it was so funny. But in the dub version, because of how the mouth movements worked, they said bugs suck.
Oh,
And I'm
come
like,
on.
that's not. I
See, I
remember that
feel like
bothered me
part of
so
that.
much.
I feel like part of that is also like when you're dealing with the subtitled version, you're getting whoever wrote the episode writing the joke.
Yeah.
Whereas like so you're getting a writer doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
When you're watching the dubbed version, you have something that someone basically read and then they're like, let's convert this to English, let's translate this.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes they don't do any justice translating it into English
Mm-hmm.
with mine to like watching the mouth movements and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and just like not really, I don't know, like caring about having the joke hit just as well. Because I remember when we were
Mm.
watching Bleach, there was like a few things that like did that between the sub and the dub, where it
Mm.
was just like but I remember pointing it out in the episode, and I actually like made us go back and like watch it, and it was
Mm.
like, yeah, it just doesn't hit right.
Yeah.
And like I remember back on track on in Black Butler, I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy who ends up kidnapping the main character, like all of his dialogue in the dub just seems so off because he's
Mm.
doing like that thick accent.
He's doing a very cheesy Italian accent, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
It,
Mm.
it was to the point where like I rewatched the episode and I was like, oh no, they're doing like. There was a couple times here he almost did like the Mario cadence where he's like, ba 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 ba. It was like,
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
yeah, it was
Boppity-boppity.
weird. It was like an up down cadence of like,
It's a me.
yeah.
So what you're saying is he did his perfect Italian impression.
He was like,
Checks out. I asked my wife.
he was like, I'm gonna kill you, Phantom Hive. It was just very like there was a couple times where I noticed it where I was just like, oh no, no, the person that's doing the voiceover is doing like a very bad like Italians are gonna be mad at this. I don't know if Italians watch anime though, so like
They
Wow.
do. They do. Because one of the members of my group, she's an Italian physicist, she started talking about how her children and her watch anime, and she was talking about Spirited Away.
So
But
Tom,
she's
you've proved is that there's one Italian that watches
Three.
anime. Oh, three. There's three Italians. Oh,
three.
well,
Yes.
that's a 300% increase over one statistically. So, I mean, if they're growing exponentially like that, all Italians watch anime at this point. That's
No,
Yeah.
not true. My wife doesn't.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's one that doesn't. Tom, your hypothesis is bunk. That's it.
Well, it's within the error bars.
The one Italian wife that doesn't. Whoa! We expected at least one Italian wife to not watch anime.
Yeah. Yep.
Cory, with your best efforts, still can't get her to do it.
No, it's just a cartoon thing in general, to be honest.
No.
Like, she's just not into it. She likes, like, Pixar animation, but
Okay.
even, like, going back to, like, older Disney, like, classic Disney stuff, like, she's not
Like,
that into
Did
it.
she watch cartoons as a child?
I know growing up, she didn't... Her parents, like, didn't really let her watch that many things. Like, if it had any, like, inflection or thought of violence, like, she couldn't watch it. Like, she couldn't watch Power Rangers, she couldn't watch Ninja Turtles, anything where there was any kind of fighting,
She
they
must
couldn't
watch
watch
like
it.
Rugrats and
I'm sure she did, but, like,
I know.
I don't think she has much nostalgia for it because she probably, you know, when you have to keep changing the channel because, oh, this next show has someone fighting somebody, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. In the interest of our doing our due diligence on this, Tom, do you think you can give us the rundown of Black Butler in like 2 minutes? Of
sure.
what happens in this
or
episode,
at least
real
like
quick?
run down
Yes.
the first like half
can-
of the episode.
Well, because
can
I just
do it
realized
very-
we did dip our toe like into the end of the episode, but if anybody's watching this that actually is interested in Black Butler, we're kind of doing them a disservice if we don't at least
and
tell
I
them
know
what
that-
we intended to talk about this week.
And the thing is, I love Black Butler. I like the series. I like the manga. And and when we had that technical issues episode, I gave a lot of background information
Yeah.
about
Which I feel like is also why we're having trouble talking about it now. Because
yeah.
it feels like we did it already.
Yes, that's what it is. And so, like, I don't want to, like, I was spitting out the voice actors' names. Like, you were talking about the guy with the Italian accent. I'm like, that's Christopher Savat.
You know,
I'm like,
I should just
I know him. He does a
unplug
million
Tom's
voices.
mic. If I unplug Tom's mic, he will just go on a rant about all the actual things we should talk about.
Yeah. Well, okay, I can do this. All right.
You
So,
can do this, Tom.
I got this.
Just talk
And-
about the actual episode.
All right.
Don't go history. Just go. This
gonna-
is what happened.
I'm going to give a synopsis of the first half of the episode. How's that
me
sound?
the hentai version.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry, wrong word. Give me the manga version.
Nope,
Give
still
me the
nothing.
consolidated. I don't know. Just do your thing, Tom.
I got
Shit, Why are
this.
you letting me talk?
I don't know. Jesus.
I don't know why I don't have the power to mute Keith.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm clicking everywhere. It's not
Wait,
working.
I think I can mute you guys.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
not.
Damn it.
I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, don't do it.
too
I have to
scared.
explain the episode.
I'm scared.
Jeez, Keith.
I'm a scared little boy.
You gonna let me explain or what?
Yeah, go do it.
Okay, so Black Butler, Season 1, Episode 2. Oh my goodness. What was the name of the episode?
His
His
butler.
butler.
His
strongest.
Butler's strongest.
Strongest.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes, so his Butler's strongest. We open in on a scene with the Phantom Hive servants discovering that there's a rat problem in the manor. Basically, the servants find one of the telephone wires has been chewed by a rat, and they notice a rat, in which they try to smash it with a statue for comic relief.
Let's be honest. Just foreshadowing. It's all foreshadowing.
Yes, it is.
That's all it is.
It totally is, yeah.
It's
Keith
comedic.
picked-
No, it's comedic relief and foreshadowing.
Yeah, and I was gonna say last time we talked, Keith picked up on it right away, but they didn't hear last time, so yeah, so Keith picked up on it, and basically cue the opening song, which is monochrome. Was it monochrome no kiss or monochrome kiss? I don't know. I love the
Wait, hold
intro
on.
song.
Monochrome no kiss and monochrome kiss are pretty much opposite things. The only thing
They
you get
are.
different is like monochrome no kiss and chromatic kiss.
Well, I was giving you basically the weatherman's
Sorry,
answer.
yeah. No, I get it. And sorry, I extreme tangent. Let's go
I
on.
I think it is monochrome kiss. Not I don't know why I'm thinking no, but anyhow,
Our listeners, comment down below wherever that is. Tell us how much Tom is wrong.
and also tell us how much you wish Corey and I had mute buttons for Keith.
I'm I really wish I did.
Because Corey at this point, with his air conditioner off, is just probably sweating his
Yeah,
balls
like
off. And he's like,
the timer is like is ticking.
it's like, explain
Yeah.
this fucking episode now.
Yeah. So anyhow, we come back from the opening sequence, and we're in the parlor. They're playing pool. It's the aristocrats of evil. They're not actually named, but that's what the group is. They're led by CL Phantom Hive, who's the main character of the show, a little boy, which I won't spoil too much, but you need to know at least a little bit. And I assume if you're going to be listening to us do a review of the episode, you're going to know there's spoilers ahead. So if not, just skip to the end. Uh, so let's see.
Just stop listening now. Bye.
Just stop. Bye.
Spoiler alert.
You've only made it 45 minutes into this episode, but bye.
Bye.
Well, we gave them 45 minutes of a lot of bullshit content, and now you should just turn it off.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, listeners. So your CL Phantom Hive is a 12-year-old lord of an English manor. He inherited his title and his position from his late father. In order to figure out who killed his father and his mother, he basically makes the deal with a devil, or in this case, a demon, who is acting as his butler. So that is who the Black Butler is.
He is a fantastic butler, by the way.
He is. He is. He's really badass.
No, he also just he's very very focused on making sure that like food is ready at the proper time, and that's like
Yeah.
the best part of a butler. Like if dessert's ready on time, like that's come on,
Yeah. Yeah. He is very dedicated to his job as being a butler.
punctual.
Yeah. So yeah, we're introduced to these characters who are playing pool. CL Phantom Hive, English Lord. He's the leader of this group. He's basically tasked by the Queen of England, who's Queen Victoria at this time, because it takes place, turn of the century Victorian England. He's tasked with basically policing the underworld and making sure, the real bad stuff doesn't get too out of hand. And the way he does that is by having a network of, people from all different walks of life. He has other aristocrats in there with him, like his aunt, Madame Red is her code name or whatever. She's a doctor and she's part of the group. There's Lao, who is a Chinese merchant who's actually a smuggler. I think he smuggles and has opium dens as well. But as long as he doesn't do too much business, it's okay. Like as long as he helps CL Phantom Hive and his group control everyone else, he gets a pass on the bad stuff he does. Basically, that's true with everyone in that group. They get a pass on the bad stuff they do as long as they follow the instructions of the Queen. So yeah, these group. There's also the gangsters. There's the Italian mobster that's part of that group. Let's see. And the head of Scotland Yard. I was thinking about all the characters, and I found this really funny. You have like the head of a mafia, the head of like the opium smuggling ring. Just these really shady characters, and then you have the head of Scotland Yard all playing pool together, talking about basically they start discussing the rat problem they're having. You know, but like Keith was talking about the foreshadowing. CL starts talking about how there's a rat in their midst, amongst them or whatever, and causing trouble. But
Yeah.
basically, they discuss it. He ends up deciding what to go back to his office, and when he goes back to his office, he's kidnapped.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Sebastian, his butler, ends up, going to let him know when dinner will be ready, and finds his office in disarray and realizes his master's been kidnapped. But he's more concerned about the fact that his dinner won't be ready on time unless he gets his master back soon. So, I think that's pretty much the halfway point of
Honestly,
the episode, right? Yeah.
as somebody who loves to cook for people,
That is a big concern.
that's honestly like I really jived with that. I was just like, oh fuck, you serious? Like dinner's gonna be ready soon, and you just got kidnapped. You fucked up my dinner plan. Dinner's ready in 30 minutes, and you got kidnapped now. Come on, man.
All I know is if
So
I
you're
ever get
saying-
kidnapped. Oh no! you
Yeah,
go.
if Tom ever got kidnapped, Keith, and he was going to be late to your dinner, you would gain the powers of the Black Butler to get him back.
I'm just saying that I would be furious enough that somebody kidnapped somebody from my dinner party when I had probably hours of work cooking. I am
Balls deep in this deal.
I am what do they say pool
Balls
committed? No, pool like
Pot
or,
committed.
Pot committed in this poker game. I'm pot committed in this poker game. If somebody walks away from the fucking table, putting the game on pause, I'm going to go find that fucking person. Like this is I'm gonna Thanos snap shit out of existence because
So I'm
dinner's fucking ready.
I'm just imagining the rest of this episode playing out, but with Keith instead of the Black Butler. So in the next
God.
scene, when they try and get the ransom for CL, I'm imagining Keith is the one that almost gets shot by the sniper.
Oh.
And then
Yes.
Keith is the one that runs them down on foot
Yes.
when they're
outruns-
speeding away.
Yes. Keith outruns the getaway car
I mean,
only
as-
to capture him.
And Tom is CL captured by this Italian mobster.
Yes.
as a
Mario.
as a pretty fat guy.
But you're motivated, Keith.
I'm-
By the
I'm-
fact that someone is
No.
going to be late for dinner.
No, but the
Yes.
thing is that I've always been a pretty fat guy, but there's been periods of time where I've thinned out, and I have been a runner. There was a period of time in my life where I ran 4
So you're saying
miles
it's
a
not-
day every day.
It's not outside the realm of possibility that you run down
I
this
can
car.
I can T2 Terminator full out like aggressive run
Yeah.
and scare people. It's just for how long? How long?
I
can
wish I
sustain
had.
that?
I wish I had the editing skills to put this together.
Oh, Corey, we could do this. So
Yes.
No,
listen.
I can't.
No,
I'm well aware of my capabilities of
So
editing. I
no,
cannot do
so
this.
like Tom gets in his car, you sit in his trunk
God, we're
with the
doing this
trunk
in real life.
open, and I can
sounds
run
dangerous.
after the car full speed. Like Tom takes off, and I just run full speed, and then we just edit the frame.
Corey.
So we added
Uh,
that same 5 seconds where you're not winded.
Well, no. I can give
back.
you just like my wife.
Be like the Monty
I can,
Python,
no.
the Holy Grail scene with Sir Lancelot running towards the castle.
Hey, if I can give my wife 60 seconds, I can give you guys 60 seconds.
No, I don't need to know this information, Keith.
That's self-deprecating.
So our Minuteman Keith over here
I can run for
Then-
60 seconds.
catches these would-be assassins and threatens them off the cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what happens in the show is that
Yes.
I, Keith,
Yes.
Keith,
not
the Black Butler.
Sebastian the Butler, the Black
Yes, not-
Butler,
Not
who's not
Sebastian
actually
Michaelis,
black,
but
but
Keith Barnofsky.
Keith Barnofsky catches these would-be assassins because they're just heretics. They're
They shot at you, Keith.
that's not the right word. I told
tried
you
to-
my
they're
vocabulary is
assassins.
awful.
They went against your religion of being on time for dinner, so they're heretics.
They honestly tried to assassinate the butler as he was getting dinner ready. So yes,
They're
that is
asking for it.
technically true, which is the best kind of true.
Yeah, so then Tom, over the phone,
Yes.
is able to convey to Keith, the Black Butler, where he's being held at, right? I believe that's
Yeah.
how it works out.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Tom,
basically,
the little man boy child that is tied up like
Yes.
a caterpillar.
I assume he got the location from the two would-be assassins.
The heretics. Yeah.
But the heretics. But he used their field telephone, as he called it,
It was a car phone.
it was really a car phone, but he used it to call the Italian boss up, and so he picks it up and ring ring, it's a me, a Mario, and I got Ciel.
It's me,
And-
Sebastian.
Thank you for playing my game.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, though, is that the Italian guy on the other end, I don't remember his name. He's terrified. Like he is not a good gangster. Like because he's immediately freaking terrified, and the longer they talk, the more terrified he gets. And I'm like, you kidnapped a child to hold him for ransom to sell him off to get murdered,
Keith,
and you're scared of a phone call?
Keith, he kidnapped a child right before dinner time.
Oh, it's true.
He should be shitting his pants.
It's true. He didn't
Yeah.
know about that really well-adjusted butler.
Yeah.
So
At this
So-
point, Keith jumps off the car and lets the two heretics plummet to their death.
As you do.
right off the cliff.
As you do, of
Yep.
course. And then proceeds to head towards the hideout of the Italian bad guys. And what is he? He arrives.
They have like an
and there's-
entire army.
Yeah, there's like a whole
people.
army waiting for him. But then he just proceeds to wreck them by killing them with silverware.
Well, he kills all the guys on the outside by just straight up just maiming them. Like it's,
Oh, yes, that's true.
I mean, there's probably half the guys on the outside of the house and half the guys on the inside of the house. And the guys on the outside of the house, they basically just cut away. Mm-hmm. And when they cut back, he's breaking the last one's arm.
Yeah, he was just messing them up, yeah.
And then he goes inside and he's like killing guys. And he's like, this is just taking way too long. Like,
That's right, it was a time issue.
yeah.
Because of dinner.
Because he
so-
wants, no, it's not dinner. They ate dinner. It's dessert. Because dessert was, because the thing is that they ate dinner and his master, the kid, was going back to his room. And he's like, oh, I'll take dessert in my room. And they got kidnapped. It's all about dessert.
Oh my, of course.
It's all about dessert. So he's just like,
course.
well, because he keeps on checking his watch. He's like, shit, I gotta rescue this kid and get him back for dessert. Who cares about? Because it's almost I mean, it's honestly it's interesting sociologically because he's not like, oh, I need to rescue the kid. He's like, I need to rescue the kid to get him back to the house for dessert. It's like there's like this. Dessert is more important. It's like he knows, like rescuing the kid is a fact.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It is factual because he's a demon. He has these powers. He's going to do that. His challenge is to do it in the confines of the time.
You just like how we've replaced the Black Butler with Keith and Tom with Ciel.
with the 12.
You got to make it interesting for it yourself, you know?
That's true. That's true.
So you got to gamify it sometimes.
It's kind of like watching the Super Bowl. Like I like watching the Super Bowl, but at the same time, like if I buy a Super Bowl square or a couple of them for like $5 or $10 a piece,
it
and
makes
I got
it interesting.
money riding on it, it makes it way more interesting because you have money riding on it. And honestly, I feel like that's the demon. That's his game because he's in this contract with the kid. He's got to protect the kid. Eventually, he's gonna just suck up his soul. But whatever.
The boy's
but
soul.
But in the meantime, he's like, but I'm the butler, so I need to be a butler to the best butler ability. So therefore, I need to make sure he has dessert on time. I mean, shit. I never eat dessert. If this butler
you do.
came to me, well, I eat dessert when
There
Tom.
are rules, Keith.
When Tom
Yeah.
buys cake,
Yeah,
I eat cake.
damn right.
It's whatever.
When we
ruler
have
that
cake
was that
and I'm
said,
kidnapped, you
whatever,
come and get me.
Whatever ruler that said that, let them have their cake. That's Tom.
Sure.
I don't know. Don't look it up.
Checks
Yeah.
out.
It's wrong.
So yeah, Keith the butler ends up just realizing, running out of time. It'll be quicker to just murder everyone with cutlery. And then he proceeds to take all the manor's finest silverware, which he takes with him usually, and he lines his jacket with silverware as his weapons of choice. And that's when he busts them out and he just starts like sniping them, like throwing forks into their foreheads, and you just see them dropping.
So, like, I get that, like, he has enough force to, like, throw, like, probably, like, plastic straws at people and kill them. So, like, is lining his jacket with silverware just, like, a cover? Just, like, so if somebody searched him, they're just like, why do you have 45 forks in your jacket? And he's like, well, I'm a butler. Is that the reason? Because otherwise you'd have like fucking knives, right? I mean,
Not just regular knives, but
fucking knives. Like 2 knives doing it. No,
Going at
but
it.
you would have knives or needles or
Needles?
some sort of stakes, like
Is
metal.
CL
metal.
a heroin addict? And he's like, oh, time for master's dessert.
There you go. Hey,
Well, I don't know. You watched the whole series, Tom. You tell us.
you don't
I'm not gonna
know-
spoil
and
it.
Listen. They have a contract. It is legally binding. So, just saying. You're saying that he's a man of cutlery, and you melt heroin in a spoon. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god. That's great. This show has gotten even better because I'm just picturing you cooking me up some heroin.
No, I'm just imagining
God.
this demon.
12-year-old
Why?
me.
I'm just imagining this demon butler cooking heroin for a 12-year-old. Being like, yep, this is fine. Don't worry. I'm going to swallow your soul someday.
Oh, no.
God damn it. Did I ruin the show yet?
No, you making me like it even more.
Okay.
We're pretty close here. Let's finish out
Let's
this
wrap
episode.
this up. All right.
Keith gets to the room that Tom is being held captive by the Italian mobster, and he gets ambushed, right?
Yep. The Italian mobster had men hiding in the wall behind a painting. So as soon as Sebastian walks in front of the painting, he's able to give his men the cue, and they just shoot him and fill him full of lead.
That really hurt when I
yeah,
got
Keith-
shot with all that.
Keith falls to the floor. He looks dead. And it's like, oh no. But I, on the other hand, being the little 12-year-old boy that's tied up on the floor,
Smart one.
I'm not falling for it. In fact, I'm not even amused. I'm getting annoyed that he's keeping my heroin from me. So I say, are you
Oh my
you
God,
done
the narrative
acting?
on this.
Are you done acting? And then that's when Keith decides to get back up and use somehow I forgot how he gets the bullets out of himself, but he has all the bullets that were shot in him.
Oh, I made them all like come up through my body, and I spit them out my mouth into my hand.
I thought
Yeah,
they came
'cause
out
you-
your ass.
Because
No,
nope,
because if they came out his ass, they'd be covered in vodka.
He's shitting
that's true.
bullets.
Tacos.
That's true. Yeah. Vodka tacos, like
Vodka
vodka and
tacos.
Taco Bell. So I spit them out my mouth, and then I offered them. I said, "Oh, I would like to give these back to you," and then I threw them at the bad guys
Killing
and
them.
killing them. Which is funny because I say that, but that's exactly what happened in the show. And I feel like that's like just me saying that is just like that. Oh, I've been drinking, and I spit out the bullets. I put them into my hand, and I threw them at the bad guys, and they died.
Keith,
and-
you're totally the butler.
That's I'm the butler in like mental state, not physical state. Like I cannot actually survive that amount of bullets being put into me, but I can imagine throwing bullets at people and killing them. I'm a theoretical butler.
Awesome.
Let's be honest. Butlers are they are a quantum being. I would say they are an otherworldly. Based on this show, a butler is just an otherworldly being of quantum status that cannot be killed.
I have a feeling Keith has watched ahead and seen some of the other butlers then.
I've seen none. Oh, there's other butlers.
Oh, Keith just predicted the
Goddamn!
shit?
Spoiler alert! There's other butlers.
Hey, I already gave a spoiler alert 40 minutes ago.
Wait, hold on. You said there's other butlers.
Yeah.
You just ruined this fucking episode, Tom.
How did I ruin this other episode?
You said there's
there was
other
another.
butlers.
You ruined the
There was
series.
literally another butler in this. There was two other butlers in this episode.
I don't even.
Okay,
Are all the
when we
butlers
first,
demons?
What?
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I will point out when we first enter in on this episode, there's Tanaka, who used to be the old head butler before Sebastian took over. Now I forgot the other title. He's a butler and he oversees the companies for him. His toy company for him. Tanaka, that's one butler, and then Madame Red's butler, who she even says you need to be more like Sebastian when she's patting Sebastian on the ass or something.
Yeah, because she basically just felt up like she's a little. I don't know. That's
copped a feel.
unwanted. That's
yeah.
unwanted touching. Like,
Well,
you need to be like Sebastian, where I pat your ass and you don't do anything about it. Like that's
Keith, my Aunt Mary is gonna pat your ass now, and you can't do anything about it.
I could literally run away.
No, you have to take it because you're my butler, and that's what butlers do.
goddamn it. That's true. I'm Sebastian. You're the kid.
Yep.
Fuck.
Where's my heroin?
No, I'll get it. It's gonna
That
be
should be a
black.
T-shirt.
It's gonna be black
No.
tar this time because I got zero connections. So it's whatever you get, you get.
Yeah, we should probably finish up.
I feel like we're like reaching for that finish line.
Yeah, we could do
And
this.
we're
Come
just
on,
like,
Keith.
no. So close, but so far.
Yeah, this is the problem. This episode is a marathon, and Keith is not a long distance runner. He's a sprinter. He could give us 60 seconds.
So this is yeah. So this is the thing: is that ultimately, I'm gonna say that the butler shows up, right?
Yep.
And gets shot by all those guys, and they're like, "Oh, he's dead." And he's like, the kid's just like, "Okay, how long you gonna play dead?" And the butler's just like, "Yeah, these new age bullets, they really, they really fire. I don't know, more so than old
They
age
hurt
bullets."
more than you'd
Yeah.
expect.
So he spits them all out, throws them at the other guys, kills them. That last guy has his gun against the kid's head.
Yep.
Phantom Hive kid.
Yep.
and he's just like, well, if I move, he's gonna kill you. And the Phantom Advocate is just like, well, I already used save me. Boom. Butler's there. Guy pulled the trigger. Somehow the Butler caught the bullet, even though he was across the room.
Keith, you know how he did that. It's time for dessert.
Sleight of hand.
He has ungodly powers now because it's dessert time. So he was able to somehow run over there, catch the bullet in the nick of time. Yep.
Well, so he caught the bullet and then basically twisted the guy's arm over like 4 times.
Oh yeah, he mangles that arm.
Like his upper arm is like gone. It's like where his bicep tricep is twisted over 3 to 4 times. Like done. And then the guy basically screams out. He's just like, "Oh, I'll pay you." What's funny is he goes, in the dubbed version, he goes, "I'll pay you 10 times what he pays you. I'll pay you 20 times what he pays you." In the subbed version, it goes, "I'll pay you 5 times what he pays you. I'll pay you 10 times what he pays you." So in the dubbed version, they decided that was not dramatic enough. So they went to, instead of 5 to 10, they went 10 to 20.
Well, inflation.
Yeah, well, inflation with dubbed, apparently.
Yep.
So, regardless, obviously they have a contract. This is a, and the other guy doesn't realize this. This is a soul binding contract. So, there's literally no negotiation, and they leave, and he carries the kid back home.
Wait, before they leave, it's insinuated that they just totally destroy that guy and kill him.
True. Yeah.
Yes,
It's insinuated that he is done, which...
Yeah. Because Sebastian ends up turning into his true form, and that's why they cut away.
Which is honestly... Yeah, that's true.
We've never seen his true form because it's too horrific to see, apparently.
Which is honestly, like, better, because that Italian guy was, like, literally the worst Italian guy I've ever seen. Because his number one, blonde hair, fair skin, blue eyes, and
so he's
horrific Italian accent. He was basically a German or Russian person pretending to be an Italian with a horrible accent. Like, there's, like, genetically, there was no way that the guy was Italian. Like, hands down. Like, based on his looks and his accent, that was not an Italian accent. That was not even an American person pretending to be Italian. It was that bad. Where, like, an American person pretending to be Italian would not have an accent that bad.
So you know how, like, we were talking about, like, imagining Keith in the role of, running after the car. Now I'm just like picturing Keith digging that grave further and further deep down. Just keeps digging, and we just keep letting him. And he's digging and digging.
So why are you guys not stopping me?
Because it's entertaining for me, Keith.
Well, yeah. I hope it's entertaining for other people too. I mean,
I hope so too, because I didn't cut it out.
I hope the Italians at least like it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I'm as fat as I am. I am physically active. I can dig a lot of graves. I can just keep every episode. I can dig my own grave.
You only need to dig one, and it's for yourself.
Well, no, but
the
thing is, if I don't lay down in it, then I could just dig another one the next episode. As long as I don't die, I keep going. That's the whole thing. I can dig my grave. That's a shirt. I can dig my grave.
As long as I don't die, I keep going.
No, it's no. The shirt is I can dig my own grave every day, but if I don't die, I'll dig another one tomorrow.
Oh gosh, no. All right, so that was
Yeah.
basically the end of the episode, right?
Oh yeah, well
He
we
carries him
just
off into the
finish. Yeah.
Keith carries Tom off into the sunset.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's what I was gonna
Tom's my
say.
little baby.
Yeah. And it looks so cute, and the servants are there to greet us and point out how cute we look together. And then I get upset, and
Yep.
you apologize for not
And-
having my dessert ready.
Yeah, you go, I'm not a baby. Let me down, Butler. And I let you down, and I go, I'm so sorry. Your dessert's not ready. Which is totally fucking wrong because the dessert was ready, but the other fucktards back
Yeah,
at
they
the
fucking
place
ate it.
So there's no dessert left.
So what you're saying is
So-
you are a bad butler.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying you have
Like-
bad house guests.
Bad butler.
I am a bad butler.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I would not clean shit, number one. Because in my own house, I mean, I clean, but like, when I really have to. Like, that's.
So that
So-
was our.
Yeah,
Our,
that was Black Butler.
I was
I
gonna
guess.
say that was White Butler starring Keith Barnofsky.
How many Keith digging his own grave out of 10 would you give Black Butler? Episode 2, his Butler is strongest. Worst title for any episode of,
Yeah.
anime or cartoon I've ever heard.
Well,
It just sounds so weird to say.
well, yeah. You know what it is? Like I feel like all the other episodes all start with his butler and then have, a description, and I feel like they just were running out of ideas.
On episode 2?
Yes. Read the other titles. You'll see.
I mean, he is strongest.
He
I don't know. I
is,
guess
yeah.
I'll go first. It's been a weird, wild ride with this show, just because I feel like I watched it so long ago, and us talking about it is kind of just like a refresher for me because I didn't watch it again in preparation for this. But in the notes I'd taken when I'd watched it, I'd put 6 out of 10, and I think I stand by that. Like, I understand that this show is not for me. And I think I realized that a little bit more while we were talking about our history with anime. I feel like everybody has a natural progression, at least guys do, for the most part, of let's watch this, shonen anime. Let's watch this next shonen anime. And then eventually you start, realizing kind of hey, this is all kind of samey. Maybe I want to try something a little bit different. And I feel like this might have been Tom's a little bit different. Because it's a little shonen-y with the whole action scene and everything. But it also has a little bit more intrigue than your general shonen anime. Like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, theoretically. I've never even seen it, though.
I mean, honestly, I would give this. I mean, one episode in, I feel like it's intriguing. I feel like it can go places. It's the second episode of the first season. I give this like a 7.5.
Wow.
I feel like this could like this it's like the Shinigami style.
The what?
The
The what?
Shinigami.
The what?
Shinigami?
Yeah, it's the Shinigami style, and
I thought
I
you
feel
said
like
Shitty at first.
That's what I thought he
What?
said. The
Hold on,
Shitigami.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, good.
We're ending the episode. He
talking.
leaves. You are a bad butler.
Tom, what did you think about this episode?
Wow, yeah. I mean, I have some nostalgia, but I know this wasn't the best episode. I picked this because I didn't want to pick the best episode. It's like all the other series we've been reviewing where we don't pick the best episode thinking we might go back or,
Yeah.
revisit. So once we refine our situation. So, with that said, I still love this show. It's still, I think of the whole, I know the whole storyline and I know all the characters and I know I have a feeling, Corey, if you knew a little more about the show, you might like it a little more. Like if you had a little more, character background information, you might actually start to, you know, fall into it a
Well,
little more. But
so here's a little bit of background on that. I did try and watch more of it,
yeah, okay.
like a month ago when we'd first like
Mm.
in anticipation for watching the second episode. I actually had watched the first episode before it,
Ah, okay.
and then after we failed to do or failed the recording last time, I actually tried to watch the third episode, and I think I fell asleep during it. And
Ah,
I was just like, all right, maybe this is very reminiscent of me trying to watch dubbed anime back in like
mm,
the early 2010s or something. And I was just like,
mm,
I'm not, or actually the mid 2000s, because I was probably just fresh out of high school at the time. And it
mm-hmm.
was just like, this is not what I really want. So I
Yeah,
ended up not finishing like episode. I think
okay.
I might have slept through episode 3, and then episode 4 started. And I was just like, I'm not watching that again,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
All
But
right. Well, yeah, I understand. I still like it. I I didn't want to give it as high as an 8. I was gonna go
hmm
with a 7, but Keith gave it a 7.5, which made me
so
think,
now you
wow.
feel pressured to give it a
I,
higher
f-
one.
I feel like I will at least match Keith. I'll say
I
7.5
I give this
raves.
I give it a 7.5 because I watched a lot of Death Note, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see the same.
Is that a hentai, Keith?
No, no, because there's no. Apparently, there's no porn in Death Note, so
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
just
good.
checking.
We're good. We're good. It's either an anime or a manga. it's so or both.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a lot of similar things there, and I enjoyed that the Death Note storyline where it was just this. There's this. I mean, in this show, he's not hidden, but what he's hiding the facets of what he does, which is very similar to Death. Like Death Note was like totally hidden
Mm-hmm.
Shinigami, which is whereas this is like, oh, there's a butler, but the butler's like nobody sees what he does because anybody that does, he's basically murdering. Like
Yeah.
it's a different realm, and it's actually a more intricate realm of like feeding that in and seeing that for a one episode thing. If they continue that, eh,
See,
obviously
Keith.
they have a level of like they have a level of brutality in there, but
Mm,
if they have the level of hiding that fact and they do it well throughout the
mm-hmm.
rest of the season, I feel like it deserves that 7.5.
Yeah. See now, Keith. As you explain that and talk to that, now I want to make you watch the next couple episodes to get to the Jack the Ripper episode, which is like episode 4 or 5. Just because I know when you see that episode, you'll with the whole Death Note vibe and the intricacy, like the because it's a murder mystery. They're trying to
Yeah.
figure out who the hell Jack the Ripper is. So it's I think you would. Yeah, I think that episode would justify your
So I
7.5.
should just keep watching the series, is what you're saying? Which
Yeah,
I'm all for. Like
yeah.
I
I mean,
haven't up to this point because I knew that we tried to do this episode. We had technical difficulties, and then we were gonna do it again, and which is why I haven't watched more. But honestly, after seeing episode 2, I kind of want to go and watch episode 1, but I kind of don't. At this point, 'cause
I
I'm
think
like,
episode 1 is actually better.
it
really?
is. It
Okay.
is.
All right. So
Yeah.
I should
It's
watch.
a different style. I could see why
Yeah.
Tom picked episode 2,
Yeah.
but I think episode 1 is actually just a better anime
I
episode.
I agree
Okay.
with Corey entirely.
So like
Episode
a
1 is
better
better.
anime episode, but like less to talk about, right?
You know what it was? It was we do a lot of first episodes for series, and I just didn't want to do enough,
hmm
like, because every time I pick something, I pick the first episode. I just didn't want to do it this time.
Yeah.
Uh, However, this time it would have been justified because I'm sure yeah, you would like the first episode better too. I think so.
Well,
Eh.
I will watch it, and I will honestly probably, when Nikki goes to sleep, I will watch other episodes because
Nice.
I don't know. Like I jive with this show. Like that's why I rated it 7.5. It's like that's my honest interpretation of this episode based on what it is and where I think it can go as well. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I was thinking now that we've, well, for one, explained to Keith what anime is and the differences between it and manga and hentai, uh, and Keith being open to watching more anime, I'd really like to suggest you should probably look into Bible Black. It's a really nice anime, very wholesome.
Bible
Watch it with the whole family.
Why is-
I just remembered
see a
what that
I
was.
see a theme here. Black Butler, Bible Black. What,
Yeah,
what is
naming
the,
conventions.
yes.
That's fine.
Hold on.
It's
What's
all
going
right.
on here? Is everything?
It's all right. I don't
everything-
think it's on Netflix, but you know,
Oh, it's one of
do your
those.
best.
Bible Black. I'm not going to Google that right now.
Yeah, don't Google that right now.
I will wait about 20 minutes and then.
Give it about 60 seconds, Keith.
Okay.
All right. With that said, it's getting pretty hot out here. There's no AC.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should end the episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this train wreck that we call a podcast. We'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to three guys ramble about cartoons. If you'd like to ramble about our ramblings or what we rambled about, you can join the Cartoon Commentary Podcast group on Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, or corrections for us, you can reach us at cartooncommentarypodcast@gmail.com. And until all are one, I've been Cory.
I've been Tom.
And I'm supposedly Keith.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Dick.